This is Optimal Living Daily, episode 305, How to Manage Burnout, 5 Essential Tips by Bobbi Emel with GoodLifeZen.com, and I'm Justin Malik. I'll be acting as your host and narrator for the next 8 or so minutes, reading you from a popular blog in the personal development category. But before we get into it, I'm lucky enough to have FreshBooks sponsor today's episode, and they're a cloud accounting software that I use myself. Come check out all of their features for free for a month without entering a credit card. Come by freshbooks.com/living to get your trial and put Optimal Living Daily in the How Did You Hear About Us section. And I picked the content today about burnout because someone actually asked about it as an audio question to my brother's podcast, Optimal Health Daily, and he hasn't answered it yet, at least. I'm not sure if he will, but since I came across this post, I thought it'd be great because I know it'll be helping at least one person out there, so hopefully it'll help you too. So let's hear that post and start optimizing your life. How to Manage Burnout, 5 Essential Tips by Bobbi Emel with GoodLifeZen.com. Quote, "Take rest. A field that has rested gives a bountiful crop." Ovid. Do you feel exhausted when you get home from work? Do you go about your day feeling numb and as though you're just going through the motions? When you get right down to it, do you feel ineffective and maybe even helpless? If you answered yes to any of the questions above, you might wonder what's wrong with you, but it may be something you haven't even thought about: burnout. Did you know that burnout can occur just about anywhere in our lives, not just at work? Here are 3 aspects of burnout according to leading researcher Christina Maslach. Number 1, exhaustion. I'm an avid crossworder, and when the clue is exhausted, the answer inevitably is used up. That's what exhaustion feels like, being used up. It describes both physical and emotional depletion. Number 2, depersonalization. We use this technique to try and put distance between ourselves and whatever is causing our stress. So if you work with customers or clients in your job, you might find yourself ignoring the unique qualities of each person and thinking of them as just a number to be served or a case to be managed. Likewise, if you are burning out in other areas of your life, such as family, friends, or other groups you are part of, you might find yourself becoming cynical or indifferent when around those people. Number 3, inefficacy. This refers to a reduced sense of personal accomplishment. It can feel like any or all of these things. You're not getting things done no matter how hard you try. You just don't have the time and resources available to complete the tasks you are expected to do. You rarely get any positive feedback for what you are doing. So this is a pretty nasty trio, feeling used up, cynical, and ineffective or unappreciated. You may have had a job where you experienced this, but I'm sure you can also see where burnout can occur in other spheres too. Maybe you feel like you have to be the perfect mom or a super dad. Maybe you're under pressure from high expectations to get excellent grades in school or university. Or maybe you have a chronic illness and are tired of putting up a brave front so that the people around you don't get discouraged. Whatever the situation, burnout is a bad place to be. So let's look at some ideas to keep burnout away in the first place, as well as some ideas what to do if you're in the midst of it. Number 1, pay attention to yourself. It's easy to get so caught up in the world and what needs to be done in it that you end up being alienated from your own experience. To get more in tune with yourself, ask, how does my body feel? Am I tired? Do I have enough energy? How am I feeling emotionally? Am I getting cynical? Am I being snarky with others? Am I overwhelmed? Do I feel like things are piling up to the degree that I'll never be able to catch up? Do I feel appreciated for what I do? Number 2, ask yourself if it's worth it. Is what you are doing worth the physical and emotional drain on your body and mind? When it comes to a job, sometimes we don't have much choice, but if you are feeling burned out in other areas of your life, does it really matter so much that it's worth harming yourself emotionally and physically? Maybe it's time to let go of people in your life who bring you more stress than support. Number 3, what if you didn't? What would happen if you didn't do whatever it is that is stressing you out? Would the sky fall in if you didn't make the Easter dinner this year, didn't volunteer at your son's school for a few weeks or months, didn't pack every hour of the workday with clients? If you took a day off to read a book or watch movies all day, would you really get that far behind? Number 4, be assertive. Yes, I'm sure you sense this one coming. Just say no. It's okay. You can do this. When Junior's teacher asks you to be the parent monitor at his class's monthly birthday party for the umpteenth time because she knows you'll say yes, say, I'm glad to bring cookies for the party, but I can't be the monitor. That's it. No need for an excuse. Just I can't. At work, it's not a particularly good idea to say no or I can't. Instead, you may want to sit down with your boss and express your concerns about your workload or unreasonable expectations you feel from management. Talk to him about your symptoms of burnout, exhaustion, cynicism, and/or feeling ineffective and helpless. Number 5, don't should on yourself. Please don't allow burnout to happen to you because of shoulds. I should be able to handle this. I shouldn't feel this way. Who said? Try not to put any more pressure on yourself than you already feel. Trust your own experience with your body, your feelings, and your mind. When those things combine to say enough is enough, it probably is. You just listened to the post titled How to Manage Burnout, 5 Essential Tips by Bobbi Emel with GoodLifeZen.com. And luckily, I do have a sponsor for this episode, which helps cover the many expenses I have for all 3 podcasts. So big thanks to FreshBooks, who I now use for my own business accounting. I really haven't liked any other accounting software or invoicing solutions because it's been way too complicated to do really simple stuff. For invoices, all I want to do is put in the description, the amount, and who it goes to, and maybe my logo if I feel like it. And if you're a small business owner or freelancer or have invoiced people, then you probably tried other popular solutions and ran into the same problems I did. But with FreshBooks, it took me about 30 seconds. And without any extra steps, I got to see when the invoice was viewed by them, when it was paid, and it can automatically send late payment reminders. No downloading of PDFs or anything, no printing unless you want to, and no emailing. It was sent right through their system, and that's just one feature of FreshBooks. That doesn't include time tracking, expense and receipts tracking, and more. You can check out all of their features for free for a month, no credit card required. Just visit freshbooks.com/living and put Optimal Living Daily in the How Did You Hear About Us section. And I'll leave it there for today. I don't want to bombard you with info, and I try to keep things as helpful and straight to the point as I can on this podcast. So I'll see you in tomorrow's show with a post from Mark and Angel, where your optimal life awaits.
Hey, this is Dan from the Optimal Finance Daily podcast, which is a lot like this show, except more focused on personal finance. Justin handpicks the best posts he can find from blogs and authors like Ramit Sethi, Mr. Money Mustache, and more, and I read them to you 5 days a week. So if you enjoy this podcast, come on over and subscribe to Optimal Finance Daily too. And together, we'll optimize your financial life.
You've been listening to Optimal Living Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode, and head to oldpodcast.com, that's OLDpodcast.com, for a free gift as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.